has been a good one. We'll be back. 20 minutes of basketball remaining here at Pauley Pavilion, and right now we are where we were when we tipped it off to begin things. 30-all, the Santa Clara Broncos and the UCLA Bruins. Let's talk about keys for just a minute, Dan, as we look at some of the numbers from the end of the first half. What does each team really need to do?
Well, I think UCLA, Barry, needs to just come back to their game plan, try to get the ball inside, take the ball to the basket, and just shoot the ball well inside the 10-foot, 15-foot area.
You made the point earlier that they're going to have to try to get some weak side help on Vanos inside. Now, let me ask you, when they do that, does that not open it up for the likes of Harold Keeling, who has that ability to sneak in under the hoop?
Well, it may, but I think it's better to do that than to give Nick Vanos the ball, let's say 4 and 5 feet around the basket, because he will not go 3 for 9 the first half. He had an open stuff that he missed, and that's not like him. If he continues to get the ball around the basket, he'll damage UCLA.
Interesting number, too. Santa Clara out-rebounded UCLA by 6, 19-13, and that is a factor. They had 3 shots several times.
That's right, and had 3 more turnovers than UCLA. Only had 7 for the first half. That's not too bad. UCLA with 4. But Santa Clara, interesting enough, Barry, shot 37% the first half and is tied. Now, I'm sure Carroll Williams would have taken that going into the game.
Absolutely. Carroll Williams, when we talked to him this afternoon, or this morning, really, when they shot around, said he looks upon this as a developmental game, and I really don't know if somewhere in the back of his head he really was thinking, well, we're not going to win it, but let's just teach ourselves some things and figure that we can play with anybody. Well, now you know he's thinking we can win it.
Well, I think his players are thinking now that we can win it, and the fact is that this can be a big boon for their program, because it will help their recruiting and help their entire look if they can come down to Pauley Pavilion and get a win, which is no easy task.
Yeah, in fact, it's so important for teams outside the Los Angeles area to win down here, because so many of the kids who get involved in these programs are from the Southern California area.
That's right. There's an awful lot of players down here, and some of them leave UCLA, so when they come back home, they like to play well.
We talk about the fact that Santa Clara really has been pounding the boards. Take a look at these numbers, and you'll see just how much. 9 offensive boards for Santa Clara, almost twice the number of UCLA.
That's right. Santa Clara only has 19 rebounds the first half, and almost half of them were on the offensive end, and I'd say 3 or 4 of them were in the last 3 or 4 seconds of that half.
So UCLA will try to put it up first here in the second half as they inbound the ball. Corey Gaines getting a start in the backcourt for UCLA. It's Gaines and Miguel, and they turn it over. Keeling, 1-on-3, and he'll take it. And it's a little bit short. Rebound comes down to Melanson. Up for Miguel. Not a high percentage shot by Harold Keeling.
No, but that's the kind of player he is. He has a lot of freedom. He's the only player out there that has the freedom to shoot the ball for Santa Clara at any particular point in time, because he can put up big numbers.
Melanson puts it on the floor, then puts it in the air, and might have pushed off there. It's going to go against Miller over the back of Couch.
Those still, Barry, are not bad fouls. You like to have your players aggressive on the offensive boards. If they make a foul or two, it's not really harmful early in the half.
So the press of UCLA did not bother the Broncos in the first half, and we'll see what it does in the second. Kenilworth back in the ballgame, brings it across the timeline, handling. In the corner, that's Couch. Looks inside to Vanos and has it slapped right back at him. Now he gets it into Vanos. Turn around with the left hander, blocked by Wright. Back to Vanos. Gets right in the air. Puts it up with the right hand, and it won't go. Vanos just can't get it down. Now UCLA will run. 2-on-1. On the wing, it's Miller to the basket. And let's see.
It'll count, and it's going to be a blocking call, and a good call on Kenilworth. I didn't think he was there, Barry. Just to bring it back, pretty good defense by Brad Wright. Looks like he got a little talking to, and he just rose to the occasion, made a great block. Here you're going to see the outlet pass by Melanson. Melanson will push it ahead to Nigel Miguel, who'll just give it here to Miller, and Kenilworth just wasn't set. Good call.
Didn't get the foot down. Third foul on Kenilworth. Kenilworth has always been a stabilizing effect on the Santa Clara offense. They can really not afford to lose it. So the three-point try is no good. Vanos, incidentally, has missed 8 shots in a row. Broncos just cannot have that. And a turnover once more. So all of a sudden, Mo is on the Bruins side.
That's right. It's turned, and UCLA has to take advantage. Now they need to come down again and run their offense and get a good high percentage shot.
Bruins lead it by 2. Just underway second half. Gaines thinks about it. Miller pump fake on Couch.
Good decision by Corey Gaines. He didn't like the shot. Bring it back out and run it again. There's no rule that says you have to shoot it right away.
Gaines looks inside for Melanson, working on Lamson. And a fine effort by Gary Melanson.
Credit Corey Gaines, though, with good decision-making at the guard position. He's the one that set that play up.
10 for Melanson. Kenilworth across the timeline. Bruins lead by 4, their biggest lead. Vanos facing the basket with the left hand, finally gets one to go.
I think what UCLA has to do, Barry, when it goes inside, they need to drop down and maybe get some hands in there so that you give Vanos a little problem. He's not going to miss that shot the whole second half.
Bruins by 2, 11 for Vanos. Jumper by Melanson. He's got that one. 12 for Gary Melanson.
Gary's going to take over this year. I see it in his eyes. He's the kind of player that's saying, I'm a senior, I've been through this for 3 years, and I'm going to lead this team.
Bruins by 4 once more. Keeling outside. Vanos way out. Underneath it goes to Lamson, and he's got it.
Good offense by Santa Clara. Excellent pass by Vanos. He's an excellent passer from the top.
And there's a steal at the other end by Lamson off the Bruins break. Bruins got a little bit careless that time, and Santa Clara's got a 4-on-1 here. To the basket, Keeling.
Can't make any mistakes. This is a good Santa Clara team. UCLA turned the ball over twice on the fast break. Santa Clara converted both opportunities.
Tie ball game once more at 36. This one may go on till Tuesday. Here's Brad Wright with the right-hand hook, a little bit short. Vanos the rebound. Broncos can take the lead. Up for Kenilworth. In the corner to Lamson. Lamson forces the shot. Thought he might draw the foul and didn't. And it'll be inbounded by Santa Clara. Lamson hung in the air and thought he was going to draw the foul, I'm sure.
That looked like it went off of Couch's head. But we'll see it. We'll get a look at it. Here's Lamson. Looked like a lot of ball right there. But it looked like it went right off of Couch.
Hard to tell. Melanson had a hand on it, too, but it will be decided by the Zebras. And the Zebras say it's Santa Clara, and Vanos puts it home for the Broncos. They lead by 2.
Good switch hands by Nick Vanos. He's left-handed, but he switched hands in midair and made a nice right-handed drop.
In fact, he's been shooting most of his shots right-handed tonight. Natural lefty. Brad Wright picked clean, gets it back, puts it up, and has it. Good effort by Wright.
One thing that big players cannot do is when they get the ball, don't drop it below your knees. Keep the basketball above your waist. Turnover by Santa Clara. Too many big guys, Barry, want to bring the ball down to the ground, and guards get a chance to pick it out of your hands.
Lamson let it go right through his hands. Montel Hatcher comes on for Corey Gaines now for UCLA. Immel has not played since early in the first half. Tie ball game at 38. Bruins can go in front once more, heading down toward the 16-minute mark remaining in the ball game. Miller waits for traffic to clear. Back up for Melanson. Melanson with a mismatch in height on Couch.
Looks like they're going to try to take advantage of it. Well, now they got Gary outside, but he may try to take Couch in around the basket.
Starts to the baseline with left hand, pulls up with a right hand jumper, in and out, won't go. Lamson the rebound. Santa Clara very effective on the boards. This is Couch underneath Keeling. Double team, triple team, forces it up. It won't go. Keeping the ball alive is Vanos. Keeling gets it back and has it.
Harrell seems to be around the ball all the time. He made an athletic play just to catch that ball in the first place to shoot it. Then all of a sudden the ball came right back to him.
And Vanos did a great job to keep the ball alive. Vanos really a quality center. Both these centers, in fact, playing very well. This is Miller in the corner. Looping pass to Wright. And a little bit hard off the boards and almost tipped back in that time by Couch of Santa Clara. Vanos clears it for Kenilworth. Couch in the corner. Undersized, as we mentioned, 6'3½". Kenilworth outside. Lamson. Couch. Swinging around for Kenilworth. Looping pass for Vanos. Vanos turns around, has it stuffed. Great play by Brad Wright. And the Bruins will come the other way. Ahead from Melanson. He'll take it. A little bit hard that time. And Kenilworth clears it for Santa Clara. Keeling. Cross court. Vanos. He's got it. Keeling. Great pass.
Great pass by Harold Keeling. Vanos can run the floor. Don't make any mistake about it. He's a big man, but he can get up and down the floor. 15 now for Vanos. Credit Harold Keeling that time. 4-point lead for the Broncos. 5 points, the biggest lead by either team in this game. UCLA needs a good shot right now. They're down 4. We're in a second half, and UCLA needs to run their offense and get a very high percentage shot. Not that time.
Keeling in a race to the basket, all the way to the hoop. And Montel Hatcher, did he foul him? Did he get all ball? I think he fouled him. It was a good effort by Hatcher, though.
Hatcher caught up to him. I think he almost tackled him, though. That's a 2-shot foul.
It is a two-shot foul. And Keeling is right back in the heart of the offense here.
Now I think that foul right there, Barry, Hatcher was going for the ball, but the fact is on breakaways, I think that not only should you be able to score the basket, but you should get possession of the ball after that. I know the NBA's gone to that kind of a rule, and I think it's an excellent rule because it'll avoid injury.
As it is, Harold Keeling will go to the line to try and increase the Santa Clara lead to 6, which would be their biggest of the ball game, and in fact the biggest by either team.
And with 14 minutes to go, Barry, that could put a lot of pressure on UCLA, because if Santa Clara gets a 6-point lead and the ball, they may just extend it back to half court and just run their semi-delay for 2 or 3 minutes.
What I see, too, Dan, is the experience of Santa Clara is starting to win out here. Now, that's not to say UCLA can't turn it, but right now Santa Clara is much more poised than UCLA.
Well, I think Carroll Williams' game plan all along was he was hoping to have a good first half and to be ahead at some point in the second half to utilize their stability and their experience. Once they can get ahead of you in the second half, Santa Clara can cause a lot of problems.
Very patient. They really dictated the tempo of the first half. Only 60 points for both teams scored in the first half. Santa Clara's on a run, too, at the moment.
14-4, they've outscored UCLA in the last 3.5 minutes and now have a 6-point lead.
That is significant. Timeout on the court. Santa Clara leads it. Biggest lead of the ball game. It's the Broncos 44 and UCLA 38. Westwood Plaza is the complete businessman's hotel. And we are back, 44-38 ball game. We want to thank our friends at Anheuser-Busch for their support of Pac-10 Conference basketball. UCLA will inbound, now trailing by 6, coming down toward the 14-minute mark. This will be a real test of a young team's character here.
If they ever need a basket, Barry, it's right now.
Jackson in the ball game for UCLA. This is Miller, Montel Hatcher, guarded by Keeling. Nigel McGill posting up, and Miller will take it and miss it, and Lamson fighting for it. Jackson might have been over his shoulder. He was. And the crowd's starting to get a little bit restless here.
Here you see Reggie Miller shooting an outside jumper. Craig Jackson makes a good effort. He just goes over Scott Lamson's back. Those are balls that have to go down for UCLA. Reggie Miller has not shot the ball well tonight.
Vukovic is back on for Santa Clara. He played very well in the first half. UCLA not on the run to the basket. That time it's Kenilworth. And the Broncos, just like that, are up by 8. The Bruins turn it over. So the Broncos can increase this lead to 10, and it seems to have happened in an instant.
I think UCLA may need another timeout right now just to regroup. UCLA has missed their last 5 shots in a row, and I believe Santa Clara has scored the last 4 or 5 times down the floor, Barry.
So that's what has happened. Now Santa Clara right now 9-8 in turnover, so UCLA starting to catch up in that area that you don't want to catch up in.
Now the argument here is that Santa Clara is contending that no one touched the ball. So in that instance, the ball should be brought all the way back under the basket. Now, if the ball was deflected, then Santa Clara should get the ball out at half court. If no one touched it, then it would revert to under the basket. And quite frankly, I didn't see anybody touch the ball.
Well, nor did I. The fact of the matter is, however, Santa Clara has the ball and has an 8-point lead. Vanos outside, about 18 feet from the basket. This is Vukovic swinging around for Kenilworth. Kenilworth looks inside, gives it back up top to Couch. Now for Vukovic. Kenilworth. They give him that shot. He doesn't take it. Couch looks inside for Vanos. Vanos trying to find some help and is slapped from behind. Brad Wright, make that Miller the guilty party. Reggie Miller's second foul.
UCLA will play man-to-man on this inbound play. Look for Vanos again. Look something inside.
And it's Vukovic getting inside, and he is really hammered by Jackson. Jackson did get a lot of the ball, but he got a very big body all over Vukovic.
Still feel it's difficult to man-to-man the out-of-bounds. Here's Vukovic, who has played very well. I saw a lot of ball there, but I saw a lot of body, too, and he hit him with the body, and there's the foul.
Significantly, that's the 5th team foul for UCLA, and there's still 13 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in this ball game. So Santa Clara right now is sitting pretty in fouls and on the scoreboard. Vukovic will try it and has it.
Barry, Santa Clara, I don't think will look to shoot the ball on the perimeter at all. They will try to get the ball inside almost every time down and force UCLA to play defense around the basket and draw fouls.
Vukovic 2 for 2, and the Broncos lead by 10. Who'd have thunk it? Underneath, Jackson, and trapped on the board by Vukovic. Hazard up off the bench. He doesn't like it at all. And I'm not sure, but he doesn't have a good case there. And coming the other way, a foul against Montel Hatcher. The Broncos are pumped. The Bruins are mad, and perhaps with good reason.
I think so. I thought that was goaltending for sure, and I just thought it was a missed call. You can't pin the ball in college basketball. It's not like the pros, but it looked like it was on its downward flight. Walt Hazard certainly not very happy about that. Take a look at it. Looked like he had it up on the board and it was coming down. No question it should have been goaltending.
I think the officials might have missed that one, and I think Hazard has a good case.
Harold Keeling just comes right back the other way. Santa Clara, to their credit, takes it right in.
Crowd comes alive, but it doesn't bother Couch, who converts, giving the Broncos an 11-point lead. Well, this will really test UCLA's mettle. There's no question about that, Dan.
Adversity has hit, and they need to recuperate and come back. They've been stuck on 38 for a long time, Barry.
Also, the 16th foul, so everything from here on will be a shooting foul for UCLA, or rather for Santa Clara, and that, too, is a factor. Santa Clara, incidentally, with only 1 foul.
Santa Clara's not missing any free throws either. They had not planned, they were not a good free throw team coming in, or had not been up to expectations, but they're shooting the lights out in the second half.
Santa Clara, after trailing, is on a run now of 20-4. And Keeling's going to get whistled for this one. Santa Clara going for the ball, and I think you got to do that.
Well, they're playing aggressive, and I think they have to keep that style up. Go with what brought you. You know, if you no sense changing at this point in the game. I think the only change you're going to see in Santa Clara is offensively. They're going to get a little more conservative, not with 13 minutes to go in the game, but if it gets inside of 8, they'll probably bring it out and force UCLA to play solid defense.
They haven't had any trouble getting the ball inside of the post anyway.
No, that's been there all night.
Gaines outside. It's Gaines and Hatcher in the backcourt for UCLA now. Melanson really worked on by Couch. A lot of bumping and banging going on between Couch and Melanson as Hatcher throws one up from outside. Vanos with yet another board. He's got a bunch. Ahead this time for Keeling, unable to catch up with it. It was Couch trying to catch up with that pass from Vanos. We saw Santa Clara working on that this morning.
Vanos throws it like a baseball. I mean, he just wound up through that one about 60 feet.
So the Bruins trying to keep their composure here. Plenty of time left for UCLA. Here's Brad Wright, double team. Puts it on the floor, then puts it up and has it. Good effort by Brad Wright.
Finally got off of 38. Now they're down 10. They need to just play some defense. Quite frankly, they just need to stop them, force some turnovers, and just play good, solid man-to-man defense.
12 minutes remaining in this basketball game. Broncos lead by 10. And they'll be patient. Vanos for Keeling outside. Vanos in the corner. Back for Keeling, guarded by Gaines. Keeling gets into the lane, spins around, tries to get it inside, comes back to Keeling, forces it up, it won't go. Rebound Melanson, whistle blows. It's Wright with the rebound, not Melanson, and I think Vanos is going to be whistled for a foul here. Vanos trying to reach in, got a little bit sloppy. Keeling took a shot he might have thought better of if he could have it back. But nevertheless, good aggressive Santa Clara play, and once more, they're owning the offensive boards. 11:44 remaining. Broncos lead it by 10. We'll be back to Pauley Pavilion with more after this.
If you're fed up with getting a busy signal whenever you call home, come. Come to the GTE Phone Mart and learn about our call waiting service. With it, whoever was on the phone would have heard a signal and you could have gotten through. We also have other services like speed calling and call forwarding. At GTE, our aim is to make your life simpler.
Thank you.
Come to the GTE Phone Mart.
Every weekend it's sports, sports, sports.
Give me a break, Flo.
I'm a sports widow.
Look, it's Shorty and Cheap Chicken. Hi, folks. How about these specials from National Lumber?
Anything to eat?
Protect your car's finish with a snug-fitting Starlight SuperGuard car cover from $29.97. Purolator XSV oil filters, $1.99 each. XSV air filters, just $2.66 each. Out, he was safe by a mile.
Arguing with a chicken, what will the neighbors say?
State. They're at BYU. They come home to play Oral Roberts. We'll have all of those games for you over these same stations on the TCS, Metro Sports, Pac-10 Basketball Network. Interesting point, I think, for Bruin adherents. That the simple fact is UCLA is not playing so badly. Santa Clara playing very solid basketball.
This is a very good Santa Clara team, and I've seen Santa Clara play now for the last 20 years. This is Carroll Williams' best team he's ever had, and I think this team will make a real impact, not only in winning the conference this year, but will make an impact in the NCAA tournament.
One thing that's got to make Carroll happy tonight, too, is he's getting a lot of help off the bench. Vukovic has played extremely well in relief of Couch, and he's gotten some help from Mulkey and a couple of other people off the bench, too, who he might not have expected to get help from this early. So it's UCLA trailing by 10, and the Broncos continue to hawk the ball. Inside, that's Gaines for Melanson on the baseline. Flips it up. Great effort for Gary Melanson. Lampson released that time. Kennevoort did not see him. And a pass down for Couch, and let's see, did he have position? No. Gaines gets whistled for the grab.
It was close. But what he did was, Barry, he reached around and tried to grab instead of just holding position. UCLA's coming with the press. Good move, good timeout that time. They scored, and they came right back into the press.
You were talking about how well Santa Clara is shooting it from the free throw line, Dan.
14 for 17. UCLA 4 for 7. Now, 4 for 7, just not a lot of free throws to have. But Santa Clara is shooting excellent from the line. That's what's keeping them ahead.
Couch is there once more, trying to get it back up to 10. 1-1. Got the first one. 3 points, all at the line for Couch. You were saying that Keeling and Vanos went for about 35 a game. They, right now, between the two of them, are at 32, so that's pretty much par for the course.
I think this year, Barry, they'll go to 40 to 45 a game.
They really complement each other. Couch converts the second, and it's back up to a 10-point lead. 11:15 remaining in the ball game. Freshman Jackson outside. Lampson does not respect Jackson's ability to put it up 15 or 20 feet. He gives him about 5 feet. Gaines gets into the lane against Kennevoort, and Keeling gets a hand on the ball, but it comes back to Hatcher. Now for Gaines. Throws it up. Fine play. Jackson.
Great pass. Santa Clara's collapsing their defense, but UCLA's having patience. They just need to stop Santa Clara. They can't seem to stop them when they come down the floor.
And Couch gets it up for Lampson. Press started to bother the Broncos that time, but finally they righted themselves and got it across the timeline. Broncos will be patient, will look for the good shot, will look for Vanos inside. And they have him. Turn around left-hander. Wright got a piece of it again. Wright doing a good job on Vanos. And the Bruins ahead for Hatcher. Pulls up with a jumper. Short. Batted around and comes down to Keeling. And now it's 2-on-1 the other way. Vanos at the other end will have it by himself.
Nick Vanos just stayed down the other end. No UCLA player saw him.
17 for Vanos, 17 for Keeling. 10 minutes remaining in the ball game. That's Wright with the turnaround. Can't get the roll. Lampson has the rebound. Up for Kennevoort. Kennevoort has a good settling effect on the Santa Clara offense. Keeling starts the baseline, pulls up with a jumper, buries it.
Isolation for Harold Keeling. Call play. They just spread the court out, put him alone on that one side. You're going to see Santa Clara now with Vanos and Keeling taking over from this point, Barry. Their best players will handle the ball all the time.
And Kennevoort being a very good quarterback out there for them. Jackson, he's got it. Down court again, Lampson burns him. Lampson's there, he scores! UCLA not getting back on defense.
Great pass by Nick Vanos. He just gets the ball out of bounds and just throws it the length of the court. Well, they're not sitting on it.
No, they're not. I like that. To the baseline goes Hatcher. He's cut off. Back for Gaines. Gaines into the lane. Gives it up this time for Wright. Turns around. He's grabbed before he got to the basket. Keeling, I believe, will be the guilty party here. And Keeling will take a rest now as Mulkey comes on for him. Keeling leaves with 19 points, and he has been very much of a factor.
Sure has. He'll be out for about 38 seconds and then right back in again. They're not going to keep him out too long.
It's only the second foul on Keeling. They'll just sit him down, take a blow. Nigel Miguel back on for UCLA. Back door, that's Melanson. Pulls up with a jumper, and that shot's almost a gimme for him.
Gary does a good job of not putting the ball on the floor when he gets it inside. He just jumps right over you to score.
16 for Melanson. Down court once more, and that'll be a home run. Lamson and Kenilworth, a little bit of a discussion here. 11 turnovers for Santa Clara, and the Bruins now can cut it to 8.
Carroll Williams still clapping for his team. He wants them to keep their poise. Let's not make any mental mistakes. Let's just play solid, not turn the ball over.
I've seen stranger things happen than for a team to blow a 10-point lead. Melanson once more. He's keeping the Bruins in the fray here.
And he wanted the ball. He was calling for it. That's what the great players do. They want it down the stretch.
Here's Lamson ahead. Couch gets into the lane. Lamson on the drive. Forces the shot. Vanos has it. He's surrounded. Feels like Custer. Can't get it to go. Whistle blows. Foul called.
That foul was on Brad Wright. Again, Santa Clara making their presence felt on the offensive boards. Here he is right here. He'll give a little pump fake. Now, what they wanted was walking. He might have shuffled his feet, did get fouled, but UCLA wanted walking prior to the shot and didn't get it.
So Vanos goes to the line with an 8-point lead. First one is up and good. Broncos just sticking it at the line here.
They're not going to miss any. Well, here's Harold coming back. He was out, not 47, about 30 seconds.
Still have to catch his breath. And he comes back on for Mulkey.
Vanos really is a beautiful shooter, though. It's nice to see. It's very rare to see a big man to shoot it that good. He just is pure from the line.
Nice touch. Makes the second. 10-point lead once more. Broncos don't look like they're going to go away.
No, UCLA is going to have to go out and win this one and just go out and force the game and cause some turnovers and score almost every time down the floor. They can't afford to miss.
Once more, it's a treat to watch Gary Melanson, I'll tell you. Turns around with a jumper. Right-hander. A little bit short this time. Won't go. Couch the rebound. He wants the ball. Just inside of 8 minutes. 7 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. 10-point Bronco lead. They'll try to make it 12. They'll try to make it 12 with a good shot. Kenilworth outside. Up top for Couch. Vanos outside. Wright comes out with him. Lamson looks to the basket. Back for Vanos. Couch up top between the circles. Kenilworth. And they'll start it all over again. They call this offensive flex. Melanson slaps at it. Kenilworth won't take it. Keeling now isolated one-on-one. Won't take it. Back for Vanos. Cutter is Lamson. Vanos keeps it. Back for Kenilworth. Starts in. Gets to the lane. Pulls up. Won't take it. Back for Couch at the circle.
They're going to make UCLA play some defense. Look for Harold Keeling or Nick Vanos to shoot this one. They're trying to run down the clock. Maybe waste a minute and a half, and then look to shoot it.
Vanos this time turns inside. Double team. Back for Kenilworth. Broncos pass the ball very well. Kenilworth starts in. Gives it back up for Keeling. Keeling worked on by Miguel. Now Kenilworth. Cutter moving at all times for Santa Clara. Lamson with the ball. Vanos outside. And Keeling finally takes it. And a bad shot at that. Wright with the rebound from behind. Couch slaps at the ball, but got a piece of Wright as well.
Statue of Liberty. He could have just picked it off his hands. He didn't have to swat it.
Third foul on Couch. So we have a timeout on the floor with 6 minutes, 35 seconds left. Vukovic has come back on for Couch. Broncos nursing a 10-point lead. Bruins will be at the line. We'll be back. Nigel Miguel with the ball for UCLA. Bruins can cut it to 8. They still have plenty of time. 6 minutes, 25 seconds remaining. Hatcher thinks about it, doesn't take it. Melanson loses the handle for a moment. He's surrounded. Back up top for Miguel. And the jumper from Miller, he's got it.
Looked like Santa Clara switched the defense that time, went into his zone, and Miller just made a key shot for him.
So it's an 8-point ball game. And Vanos brings it across the timeline. Back for Kenilworth. He'll be the quarterback. Hatcher comes out. Token defense on him. Back for Lamson. Up for Vukovic. Almost stolen by Miller. Vukovic gets in the lane, takes the shot, and he's got it. Now that may be offensive goaltending. Offensive goaltending is the call. Vanos had a hand on it when the ball was still within the cylinder.
Looked like it was going in anyway. Excellent call by the official. Here you're going to see the shot taken by Vukovic. It looked like the ball was going to go in if Nick Vanos put his hand in the cylinder. That cone, Barry, goes up all the way to the ceiling, and you can't get in there.
Bruins can cut it to 6. Here's a key point in this basketball game. Melanson wants it, takes it, has it. And Ionis now goes on the Broncos.
Now they need a turnover. Santa Clara has to show their poise and patience.
Traveling violation on Vukovic. Bruins can cut it to 4. 14th turnover for the Broncos. They want a timeout. This is a good timeout for Carroll Williams, who's going to need to settle his team down. A couple of costly mistakes for Santa Clara. 5 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the ball game. The Bruins trail by 6 with the ball.
When night.
As you mentioned when we were away, Dan.
Well, Santa Clara switched the defense last time, Barry, and they always change after a timeout. UCLA has to recognize that, see what defense they're in. There you take a look at the turnovers. Not too many in the second half. Recognize the defense and attack. That's what UCLA has to do right now.
So let's see what Santa Clara does on the defense. UCLA now, probably the most pivotal point in the ball game for them. They'll either go to 4, or if Santa Clara comes back the other way, 8 points, which seems at this juncture not quite interminable, but a big, big difference. Jackson off a double screen, doesn't take the shot. Broncos in a zone, in a man defense right now. Hatcher looks to Melanson. He wants it. He takes it. Can't get the roll. Vanos with the rebound. Wasn't a bad shot.
Pretty good shot, Barry. Ball didn't go down. He wanted it. Just got to play some defense now.
Kenelvort with the ball now. Vanos underneath. From behind, Melanson got all ball. It'll be a jump ball. Great effort by Gary Melanson.
Good call by the officials, and the arrow is pointing towards Santa Clara. So they will get the ball out of bounds. Excellent call. Here you see Vanos going up. Melanson just gets all ball.
That's an excellent effort by Gary Melanson, and he really has been a force on this UCLA team.
He sure has. Brad Wright now enters the game for Craig Jackson. So UCLA's back to their starting front line.
Kenelvort goes underneath to Lamson. Lamson gets right in the air and can't force the shot, but he's fouled. Melanson is just a different player. It's not to say he wasn't a good player last year, but he's absolutely a different player this year.
Good effort by Scott Lamson that time. Watch the pump fake. Good pump fake inside. A move that the smaller, stronger forwards need to make. Pump fake and then go ahead and take it in and score.
Well, they got Melanson in the air. I thought it was right in the air, but Melanson in the air, and that's what forced the foul. Lamson can't get it to go. So all of a sudden, the worm is turning here.
Barry, the essence of good defense is you try to tell your players, don't leave your feet. Hard to do when you're a great shot blocker like Melanson, but in that case, Lamson just got him off his feet.
Second try by Lamson won't go either. He misses them both, and the Bruins still with an opportunity to cut it to 4. Crowd really in the ball game. First time in 2 nights I've really heard this crowd be in the game, and they collapse on Wright. Keeling picks him, but is going to be whistled for the foul.
Good idea by UCLA, but again, Brad Wright brought the ball below his waist. When you do that, you're asking for those guards from the outside to come in and pick you clean.
6th team foul on the Santa Clara Broncos, so from this point on, they'll be shooting on both sides. Miller to inbound. 6-point ball game. Gets it into Miguel. Kenelvort doing a good job defensively.
He's a tough kid. He takes the challenge.
Melanson playing on couch. Mismatch in height. Back to Melanson. Back up for Miguel. Hatcher will take it. Off the back rim. No good. And Melanson keeping that rebound alive. Back for Miguel. Once more an outstanding effort by Gary Melanson. Hatcher heads to the baseline. He's cut off by Keeling. Back up top Miguel. 4 minutes remaining in the ball game. Miller holds it over his head. Back for Miguel. Bruins being patient. Miller takes the jumper off the left side. No good. Rebound bounced around, and who's going to get it? Vanos. 14th rebound of the ball game for Nick Vanos. Up for Couch, and he slows it down. So it's still a 6-point game. UCLA's had 2 chances to cut it to 4. They haven't been able to do it. Broncos had a chance to bring it to 8. They couldn't do it.
Semi-delay now, Barry. Santa Clara's not going to look to shoot it unless it's a layup.
Lamson outside, coming down toward the 3:30 mark remaining. Kenelvort guarded closely by Hatcher. Back up for Keeling. Keeling worked on by Miguel. This is Vanos outside. Wright is all over it. Couch underneath. That's Kenelvort. Gets a man in the air, puts it up over his head. That's an effort.
Great shot by Kenilworth.
6 points by Kenilworth, and they seem to have all come in crucial times.
That was just a tremendous effort. Santa Clara wasted a lot of time and scored.
Inside of 3 minutes, as you can see, fast-handed away by Keeling. It'll be a foot race to the basket. Keeling all by himself, stopped. And just like that, it's back to 10. That could have been the cripple right there.
That could have been the lights out on that one right there. Great steal by Harold Keeling. UCLA's going to take a timeout. Good timeout. Still not over, but you're almost in.
It's going to be a longer road, that's for sure. 2 minutes, 46 seconds remaining. 10-point lead for Santa Clara. Keeling 21 points so far. We want to thank the staffs of these two fine universities for their assistance with today's telecast. First, with the University of California, an old friend of both of ours, Pat Malley, the athletic director, the assistant athletic director, Dan Curry, Carol Williams, who gave us his time this morning to talk with us, sports information director Mike McNulty, for UCLA, their athletic director, Peter Dallas, and Walt Hazard, who has been most amenable. We'll see him an awful lot this year. Sports information director Mark Dellins. And to thank all those people. Dennis Mnuchin, of course, who is always at our side, always being our brains here. Meanwhile, we've got a 10-point ball game. Great victory for Santa Clara, should they get it.
It'll be a great victory for the program.
Gary Melanson has just been an absolute force, and I know we've talked about him in superlatives, but here's one of the reasons why, Dan.
Well, he makes a great effort to keep this ball alive. 1, 2, 3 jumps, and finally knocked it out where UCLA did get possession but could not convert. They haven't converted the last 3 times, and Santa Clara has. And then, of course, the ball came out. Harold Keeling made a great steal and a dunk. Very forceful 10-point lead. Santa Clara 2:46 to go, Barry. And it does not look good for UCLA at this point.
Keeling, a good example of a guy who just matured once he got out of high school. Went to Lincoln High School in San Francisco, not largely recruited.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't heavily recruited, and Santa Clara went to Santa Clara and has become a great player, 4-year starter for Carol Williams.
So the Bruins now back to the wall. Gaines pulls up for the jumper. It won't go. Back rim. Keeling rebound.
Well, they needed, if they had any chance, they needed that one. They can't afford to miss at all. Santa Clara is going to freeze the ball now. UCLA will have to go for solid defense, look for steals, look for fouls, and then hope Santa Clara misses.
And that's exactly what happened there. Wright reaching in on Vanos. 4th personal foul on Brad Wright. And both Wright and Vanos getting valuable experience in the pivot. I think each one of them is going to know he's been in against a guy who can play the game.
Absolutely. And this could be the biggest win in Carol Williams' career. I know he's had a lot of good wins, but I would think beating UCLA at Pauley has to rank as one of the top wins in his college career.
Vanos 5 of 6 at the line. Can't get this one, and Wright has the rebound, but he's picked clean by Lamson. But Lamson stepped on a line. Picked him clean, stepped on a line. Good news, bad news. So the Bruins will have it. They trail by 10, 2:21. Corey Gaines for Miller. Back for Gaines. Gaines behind a Miller screen. Worked on by Kenilworth. Back up for Hatcher. This is Gaines. Pulls up with the jumper over Kenilworth. A little bit short. Melanson fights for the rebound. Kenilworth has it. And we're inside of 2 minutes. 1:55. Couch outside. Guarded by Miller. Lamson. Keeling.
Got to look to do something. Look to foul. Look to stop the clock. The clock's running down. 1:40 to go. You can't let that clock run.
Can't let Brad Wright make the foul either. He's playing with 4. Couch. Miller went for the ball. Couch takes the jumper. Buries it.
When in doubt.
Once more, we'd like to thank our friends at Anheuser-Busch for their support of Pac-10 Conference basketball. 12-point lead, and the crowd starts to file for the exits here, figuring the Bruins have lost for the first time officially this year, actually their second loss. Great shot by Melanson with a hand in his face.
They should look maybe to get a timeout after they score. Of course, the rule this year in televised games, you only get 4 timeouts, so that cuts that down a little bit.
Lamson gets right in the air. That's a good effort by Lamson, followed by Keeling.
Keeling plays like a forward. He's always around the basket. He's tipping the ball in. He scores inside. He scores outside.
23, and there's an effort by Keeling at the other end. Did he get the ball? I think the foul's going to go against Couch, but I think Keeling actually got all ball. So he made the play at one end, came back, got a piece of the ball on Hatcher going to the basket. But Couch got the body.
Very impressive performance by Santa Clara tonight. UCLA is going to have to regroup. Walt Hazzard knew he was not going to go through in preseason with a loss. I mean, without any losses. But this team played extremely well last night against Idaho, and I still don't think Idaho's that bad of a club. Just that Santa Clara is a very experienced basketball team, and UCLA did not shoot it well, especially early.
I think it was Santa Clara that really took the shooting away from UCLA, though.
Well, they got the feeling, Barry, and you called it at the half. They sure felt as though they had an opportunity to win, and they did.
So we're inside a minute. 35 seconds remaining. And a foul going to be called away from the ball, as this one is history. Walt Hazzard has tasted defeat for the first time as a UCLA coach. You mentioned he lost athletes in action. That is considered an exhibition game. Does not count on UCLA's record. And there were a lot of things in that ball game that Walt did not do. He did not press, did not play the big man Brad Wright, who was sick with 104-degree temperature. So tonight his first official loss, and it's bitter to be sure, but part of the game. Keeling at the free throw line, can't get it to go. Melanson rebound, coming down toward 30 seconds remaining. Ahead this time for the freshman Jackson. Jackson starts into the lane, bumps into Vanos, and we'll see. Is it on Vanos? Yes, it is. Vanos put a foot in front of Jackson. Jackson, a good effort. And Gerald Jones will come on for UCLA in the final 27 seconds of this one. And the Broncos, in about 27 seconds, will savor a very, very big victory for them. It gives them a great impetus going into the season for them. They have a rather tough preseason as well. They have to play Oregon State, but they do get them at Santa Clara, and that's a tough place to play. 68-56 is the score right now. The Broncos have played very solid. Once again, this is not to cast any aspersion on UCLA. The Bruins have not played bad basketball. They ran into a buzzsaw tonight. They ran into a team that is experienced. A lot of seniors on this team, 4 starters returning. Steve Kettlevort, the quarterback of this team, can't say enough good things about him because he really makes the offense tick. He's also played very solid defense. He's taken the game virtually out of the hands of Nigel Miguel, who was very much a factor last night against Idaho. Miguel has only 3 points, all at the line, and Kettlevort has played him man-to-man most of the time that Miguel has been in the ball game. Plus, he's made a couple of key baskets. So he's the quarterback. Vanos, of course, the big man. He is experienced. He's gotten 14 boards tonight. That's very much a factor, of course. And Keeling is just a man who makes things go. 23 points. He plays well over his height at 6'3½". 5 assists, number of boards, always around the ball. Makes things happen. It's a cliche, I know, but it's also a fact in this case. Jackson at the line. He's got it. Keeling has improved with just about every outing, and Santa Clara now clearing the bench as Carroll Williams giving a lot of the younger players a chance. Uwe Sauer comes on. He's from West Germany. Dan Weiss, the freshman, and Darren Underwood from Altadena down this way. Comes on. We want to thank the people at Anheuser-Busch, as we have on numerous occasions tonight, for their support of Pac-10 Conference basketball. Mulkey comes on for Harold Keeling, and Keeling had a great evening, no question about it, and you have an idea that that's going to be the norm for Harold Keeling. Solid performer. Jackson converts the second free throw. 68-58. Uwe Sauer with the ball. Back for the freshman Weiss and ahead for Sauer. 20 seconds remaining, and this one will be history. Morris trying to pick Sauer clean from behind, as UCLA has come with wholesale substitutions as well. They're going with Haley, Jackson, Corey Gaines, Jones, and Morris. And here is Jones on the break. He'll have this one all by his lonesome if he can control it, and he does. Puts it up with the left hand and scores at the buzzer. So this one is over. And the Santa Clara Broncos have scored a very, very impressive victory tonight over the UCLA Bruins. And once more, it's credit to UCLA, take nothing, or rather credit to Santa Clara, take nothing away from UCLA. The final score once more, Santa Clara 68 and UCLA 60. Back with a final word after this.
Buddy.
What a feeling. Toyota.
Vic House with 6. Tony Bukovic with 7.
68-60, the Broncos have beaten the UCLA Bruins. Big win for Santa Clara. Always a big win for any team coming in here to Pauley and beating the hometown UCLA Bruins. That is not an easy thing to do. Let's go now to Dan Belwamini, who is with Carol Williams, who I know on the inside has got to be very happy. Very passive Carol Williams, however. Dan, you got it.
Okay, Barry, thanks very much. Carol, obviously that had to be a real big one. I thought your team played super. You controlled the game. You ran your offense. You just did a lot of things well tonight.
Well, we played exactly how we wanted to, Danny. We wanted to shoot it a little bit better than we did, and we got tired in the end and didn't execute like we can. But, you know, both teams were tired, and this was our first one, and they had one under their belt. Maybe that had something to do with it.
I thought you got great play from Harold Keeling, who's a super player here. And Vanos really came alive the second half. He was just all over. He missed some easy shots at the end of the first half.
He was a little tight. You know, I think he'll get a lot better as he goes down the road. He's improving all the time, and we're pleased with our kids. They did a terrific job tonight.
Press didn't bother you?
No, not really. We've anticipated this for a long time, and of course, we've been pressed for some time. We got experienced kids, and they did a good job against it.
Carol, where do you go from here? I know this has to be a super one for you, but I know you're right back in it against Weber State.
Well, I said last week that I was more worried about the Weber State game simply because I know that our kids were emotionally up for this game, and Weber State has an excellent team. They won 23 games last year, and the Big Sky champions got everybody back, so we've got to go into their den. Never gets any easier, Dan, that's for sure.
That's
but
right.
This is a great win for us tonight. I'm really pleased.
Carol, at halftime, you know, you come out and you were, I think, 11 for 29 at half, and the score's tied, so you had to be happy with that.
We weren't happy the way we shot the ball, and I told our kids we should have been up by 10 or 12. I liked their mental poise, and I liked the way they went into the game with the right approach, and, you know, we did pick them apart. I thought we did an excellent job there of doing what we had to do to control the tempo of the game. It was our kind of tempo, not theirs.
It looked like it was your game all the way, and the fact is that once you got ahead in the second half, then you brought them out, you spread them out, you got great shots. You isolated Keeling the first time, a couple of times. I thought you made good calls from the bench and got some critical baskets.
Well, thank you. I think our kids...
Well, there's some coaching involved in this. You know that, don't you? It just doesn't happen by accident.
Well, we work pretty hard at it. I've got a great staff that works up there, Danny. Dick Davey and Larry Hauser are excellent coaches. We hire them as coaches and not recruiters, and they deserve a lot of this credit because they work awfully hard with these kids.
Congratulations again, Carol. Super win. Good luck in the future.
See you up north.
All right. All right, Barry Tompkins, a great win for Santa Clara. UCLA did play well, just couldn't come back against Santa Clara. To you, Barry.
Okay, you said it exactly right. It was an experienced Santa Clara team, and the final score once more was indicative of just how well Santa Clara played down here at Pauley Pavilion. So along with my colleague Dan Belwamini, I'm Barry Tompkins saying so long from Pauley Pavilion. Once more, the final score, the Santa Clara Broncos 68, the UCLA Bruins 60. The executive producer of TCS Metro Sports is Thomas V. Hewitt. The coordinating producer, Paul Carlson. This game has been produced by Mitch Engel and directed by William Andrews.